Welcome to the Right Path podcast, where being an actual author, still matters. This is the podcast. That's for authors. It's about authors. It's by authors, where we share our journeys, we explore our creativity, and we examine the why behind it all. Our guest today is a friend of mine who has done a lot of writing and has an incredible story. I can't wait to have her on this program. Please welcome the author of, among other books, uh, Once Upon a Time Bitches, and all the ones that came after that and before that and so on. And I'm going to let her tell you all about the other ones. Please welcome author Branden LaNette. Branden, how you doing today?
Hello, everybody. I'm so good. Actually, I'm nervous. Like my palms are sweaty, and Rory's going to be the one that finds this hilarious because we literally co-host a podcast together. This is not my first rodeo. Maybe it's because it's like the first of a new podcast. Maybe because I feel like I shouldn't be nervous talking about myself, right? Like that's just easy peasy. But yeah, my palms are sweaty. It's
Oh my
so I'm
gosh.
nervous. So you guys, that's reality, right? Do it and be scared and do it anyway
Right
because
on.
I'm glad you guys can't see my armpits at this point because wow, I need a fan.
That's right.
Nervous.
We promoted authenticity and realism on this show, so I'm glad that you're like right there, just shining brightly
Yeah.
for us today.
Well, that's
But
part of my whole brand is to not sugarcoat stuff, you know,
mhm.
just let's keep it real. Excuses have never meant much to me, really. And I think it takes Roy wanted me to talk a little bit about like how the books came about and this it's a huge story, but feel like I can shorten it down a little bit. Um I grew up with that wishing and dreaming mentality. Um my story did not start with a fairy godmother. It started with court documents, really. I emancipated young. My mom signed her rights off on me. I was awarded the state for 2 years before I said, I'm done with all this. Like, I'm just going to go out. I'm going to do this myself. I'm tired of the system, tired of all of it. Like, I'm just going to go be a grown up. So while other girls are out picking out prom dresses, I'm figuring out rent and bills and how to stretch a $20 bill, until it screamed for mercy. And I think that's when my no excuses era just kind of began. Not like that trendy Instagram princess post, but like the real truth of like, if you don't get up, you don't eat, period.
Yeah.
Um, and it's, I have two books really that are my babies right now. And that's the Once Upon a Time Bitches and the Fuck Luck Bitches. And I feel like the fuck luck just ties right into this because I was not lucky for any point in time for any of this. I have been like just keeping my head above water for 40 for 40 plus years. Just keeping my head above water and people will see something from the outside of my life and they're like, you're so lucky. You got a book published. You're so lucky. There was no magic wand, you guys. This 10 years of hearing no to be a writer. I took that. 10 years of that. Um, so yeah, once once upon a time, bitches was a long time in the making.
I mean,
And
wow.
yeah,
Wow. I mean,
just the
ten
personal
years.
development. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you wrote it and you wrote it, it took you 10 years to get it out. Is that the story?
Well, no, I wrote a lot of books. So fast
Right.
forward, like Branden's emancipated. She's uh I I I can't give away too much because I do talk a lot about my story in Once Upon a Time Bitches. So you guys need to get this book. It's on Amazon, it's on Audible. I recommend it both because it was super probably my funnest experience in life is recording the audiobooks. Like I need to find a job where I just get paid to record audiobooks. So I loved it. I've still to this day it tops like the coolest experience. But I tell a lot of my story and it kind of starts out I was married to the same guy twice. Um, I learned the hard way, kids. Okay. So uh at one point, because writing had always been a dream for me. I'm like, I'm gonna be a writer, and I did a lot of fiction, wrote a lot of crazy fiction. I had a company in Chicago pick up a short story. I entered a contest. They were raising money for a tsunami that happened. I got picked. I got selected. They're like, you have to come to Chicago, do this reading in front of the library. We're going to do a little, book tour of this in local communities. And my ex-husband is like, listen, you could be a writer or you could be married to me. There's no more in between. And
Just wow. Yeah.
this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. Cause I thought, I live and breathe for my family. I wasn't working. I was literally like wake up mom duty 24/7, house duty, like everything was immaculate. Food was always ready. I was very supportive. I ironed that man's underwear. Okay. Like I wanted to be a writer and this was going to benefit our family. Our kids were going to get to see me live my dream. So obviously he's my ex-husband. I chose the hard line. Um, and it took a long time because a single mom of four, okay, that was no easy feat. I lived in a state where I had no family, no backup. It is Branden LaNette and four kids, okay. So I'm just trying to survive, and his whole message was like, "You're never going to publish a book struggling like this. Watch me." And it's funny because I actually got in to network marketing, and that's how Rory and I actually met through network marketing because of that industry. Love it or hate it, but this is what pushed the book because I'm working, to be able to support my family. I'm remarried. I have another baby coming. I'm like, I have to financially contribute because he can't afford to take care of five kids right now. Right. So I had to figure out something. I'm not going to leave my kid and go to work. I work this industry and I realize it is really just pushing me to grow as a person. It wasn't even about the money at some point. It was just like, wow, I am growing. Like I'm evolving. It's a business that reflects who you are and it reflects your growth. And I'm in it. And so I was kind of working on this fiction novel, but I'm like, is this a sign? Like I want to be a writer, but maybe I'm not meant to write fiction. And that's the 10-year message of hearing rejection. So am I ready to set myself up to hear rejection again? So I had this idea for the book because every girl's raised to believe in a prince, that we're thinking someone's going to come and save us. My husband now, as great as he is, like nobody can save you from yourself. He wasn't going to save me.
Right.
Like ultimately you wake up and you realize I have to be my own hero. And so I go to these events, I query some agents, I'm still hearing rejection. Um, One of the speakers at a network marketing event, I stood in the hallway so I could stalk him because he just had a book published. I loved it. I love the style. And I'm like, I need to know how you got your book published. Like, I need all the secrets, who did it, because I have an idea for a book about no one can be your hero. We're done with the excuses. How can I help everybody in this industry? How can I help everybody realize that we're making it way harder than it is? And we're going to be waiting forever if we think someone's going to save us. So he gives me the info. You guys, I take it. I message them right away. She's like, this sounds great. We're scheduling a phone call, and it's her and her husband. And so I talked to her on the phone. We talked forever. She's like, I love this idea. I love it. We're a small, publishing company. She said, we can do all of this for $12,000. You guys, I just had a baby. I just had a baby. My husband's working his butt off. I am just like, it was so great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. And it was just another rejection. I was like, it's cool. I'll figure it out. A week later, she calls me and she's like, we can't sleep. We've been up thinking about this book, talking about this idea, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to publish it, but we have a deal. We want to make this a 2-book contract. Y'all, I heard no for, I say 10 years. That was me like querying like it was my job. But in between that time was still a lot of time. I'm talking like 15 years of hearing no from people constantly. Nope, your audience isn't big enough. The idea is great. You can't sell it. You don't have a platform. No one's going to read this book. Like the rejection was ridiculous. You're a really great writer. I just don't think it's for you. Go build your platform. Go give your book away. Like the beating came for over a decade. So that was the longest week of my life. But I got a 2-book deal after hearing no for 15 years. So I was stupid ecstatic. Like you guys have no idea. And there's this false thing I just want to tell you, okay? Because the minute I'm like, I got this contract, so the minute my book releases, I'm going to be a millionaire. Yeah, ask me 4 years ago, I thought that. I'm
Right.
like, this book is
Exactly.
going to make me rich. And my publishers kept saying, Branden, like, we want to rein you in. We want you to be on, we want to be honest because they have a best selling book, but it didn't start being a best selling book for over a decade of being on the market. And I think that's a lot of writers. I think everybody struggles with this is that a book is like a baby and you kind of have to nurture it and introduce it to the public over the years gradually until it becomes an adult and then everyone's going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. So the
yeah,
$12,000 went out the window because they love the book so much.
they love the book, they love the idea. I didn't I didn't pay the money. They
Nice.
kept I believe they kept their cost. I think their cost was 3 grand. That was editing, that's publishing, that's cover design. My website was built for me, all this stuff. I think they were out 3,000 out of pocket. So they just kept the royalties. Like that was in the contract. Just keep the royalties till I pay whatever it costs to do the book.
Right.
And we went from the 2 book deal to I have 5 books with them. The publishing company, we co-authored a book, Smart Bitches by Bitcoin. They were like, we have to do a vision book, we have to do a weekly goal setting journal. So we did both of those things, and all of this was just they were just as passionate about getting the message out as I was. And talk about playing favorites, you guys. I'll just say, like, they're my favorite people, and they say all the time that this was like an incredible journey for them. So, can you handle 20 years of rejection to get someone to pick up your project as a dream of their own? Because that's you got to have some thick skin for that,
Oh my
you know.
goodness.
And I was at that point, like, look, I keep getting rejected. Am I really just like forcing something that isn't meant to be? And if you guys, you can go to my social media platform. I'm long winded. Like, I have a lot to say, and there has to be an outlet. Like, there has to be an outlet because I have all these words, and I will never be as good of a speaker as I am a writer. Like, I can sit down and I can pen to paper all day long. And I just feel like you're good at something. Let that be something that represents who you are. So I do it anyway. People love it or hate it. I have to write. There's no other outlet for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're not long-winded. What are you talking about?
No, not at all.
I've never seen any evidence of that at all. All right. 5 books though. I mean,
Five.
so you're 15 years before you even get in front of the publisher, really, for this
Yeah.
publisher. And back then, we
Hmm.
didn't have the self-publishing, push button, Kindle situation on Amazon, right?
Right.
Right. So you were literally just, I mean, grinding away, trying to get noticed, trying to find a book agent, doing all the traditional stuff that
Yeah.
every other author who listens to this has probably encountered in some way. And you kept at it all those years.
Yeah.
So overnight success that took you 20 years.
Overnight success took me 20 years. And the book hasn't even gone viral yet. I've been on the best-selling list 3 times. It has incredible reviews. I actually just saw those the other day and I love you guys. I love my fans who are like, I'm like, wow, this is really great.
That was
I'm one of
great.
those like, don't read the comments because if I read the judgment, if I read the name calling, it knocks the wind out of me. I
Yeah.
was called an abomination on YouTube. It took me like 6 months to ever put something back up there. So I take that stuff. I'm human. I take it and I'm like, I can't read it if it's bad. But no, it has been an incredible journey, but I'm saying it is not for the weak. And people tell me all the time, Branden, how do you write a book? And my biggest piece of advice is just write. Writing the book is the easy part. That is the easy part, the easiest piece of the whole puzzle. So come to me with a book that you've written and we'll get you in the arena. Because
Right.
writing is the easy part and it's going to be all that stuff in between that gets crazy. But I think kids now, like, is querying agents still a thing? Like, are they still getting the big book and having to go line by line? Like, what is that book called?
It is still a thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to a lot of authors on my other podcasts also, inadvertently, because
Yeah.
they have a book and I'm talking about something else also, but also the book. And yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that trying to find the agent, you know, is kind of the
Oh,
first step towards going the publisher route. And then, of course, there's hybrid publishers and there's 4 different kinds of hybrids. And, then there's all the self-publishing options and everything else. But You went with a publisher. It took you
Yeah,
all that time to do it. You had to go out and query the agent and find that. I mean, it's really amazing what you went through to get there.
right.
You brought up the process of, writing is the easy part, so to speak.
Yeah.
What is your process on that? I mean, do you just sit down whenever you have, you're hit by some inspiration, or are you like, I'm going to put out an hour a day, and every day from 5 to 6, I'm going to go sit down and, how do you handle that? What is your actual process when you're writing a book?
I think that for every situation, there's an exception to the rule. And I would like to say I'm an exception because this is what I did. I had a deadline for Once Upon a Time, bitches. We had the outline. We love the idea. Now I have to sit down and write it. My date, what I don't even remember what date it was due. Um, every single day I'm like, man, I should start writing that book. Oh, I should start writing that book. I'm writing everything but the book, right? I'm writing Facebook posts. I'm writing whatever. I'm writing everything but the book. Um, the weekend before it was due, I went to a hotel room for 2 days and I stayed up all night and I wrote the whole book.
Wow.
And
I
that
mean,
was it.
that's one heck of a of a process. I mean, are you
It's
like ordering pizza and stuff and like, just hanging out? Or I mean, did you bring chocolate
I
with you?
had
How'd you get through that?
snacks. Yep, I had snacks and I just sat there. I had no kids. There was no distraction. It was Brandon's just going to write her heart out. And ultimately I did the same thing with Fuck Luck too. Um and here's the thing, you guys, like you've got to have skin in the game. No matter what happens, like you're going to have to put some money in here if you want to publish a book. And people ask about that all the time and they'll be like, is this right? Is this price fair? Yeah, there's a cost. You got copyright stuff, you got editing, and this is the thing. I told Rory this the other day. I'm not an editor. I won't do it. You couldn't pay me enough money in the world. I couldn't do it for my own stuff. $3,000 with them, 12,000. If I went with them and they didn't, if I had the money and I had to pay him $12,000, that would be worth it for me to never edit a book. And what I would do, bless his heart, you guys, these guys are amazing people, is he tells me one day when I'm doing Fuck Luck, he's like, stop deleting stuff. Like send me what you have, just send it. When you're done writing, just send it to me. Because I kept like delete. He could tell I was hesitating.
Right.
So I brain dumped and he put it all together.
I love
It's
that.
That's priceless
Love that.
for
I mean,
someone to unscramble those eggs, right? Like to get into my
right.
brain and make sense of it. So yeah, yeah,
Unscramble those eggs. I love that too.
yes,
I'm an editor as well. We had that conversation. And
yeah,
so that's one of the things that being an editor, it's like you want the raw materials. Give me
yeah,
the raw materials. Don't censor yourself. I'll work on that part, but give me all of the raw materials you can give me. Give me all the ingredients you can hand me, and let's see what kind of cake we can make,
right.
together. So I mean, that's amazing that you had that relationship though too, and clearly it was a good relationship and was working because you did 5 books.
5 books with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, just wow.
I mean, I have an idea for another book, and this is the thing. I've not asked them because they have been so graceful with me. And, you know, my books don't have the traction that I could be proud of right now. And it's partly my fault because I take my foot off the gas and I'm not always talking about them and life gets in the way and the list could go on. It just hasn't been front and center. But when I earn that place and I have that confidence back, I have a book I want to do and I'm bringing it to them hands down. I want to make sure I have that $12,000 before I say it. So I love their style. I love their attitudes. I love their work and I would trust them with my babies, and your books are your babies. You got to work with people that you trust. I admire the self-publishing people too. Like that's a whole different level of grit that I don't know if I could really do it. Even an ebook is like a lot for me right now. Just a little ebook.
Right.
I'm like, this is so daunting and overwhelming. So that's it's writing is not for the weak, y'all. It's just not.
When you were writing the first book, and the first one is the Once Upon a Time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Okay.
first.
Just want to make sure I had that right. So I'm getting all my uh, bitches confused, so to speak.
I know there's so many.
Pardon me, but so all right. Once Upon a Time, Bitches was the first book that you did,
Mhm.
and that's the one. That's the one that put you on the map. That's the one that got you going. When you're writing that, okay, through your process and everything that you're doing, I know that when I was writing with someone in mind. I had an idea, of who I was writing it to. Who were you writing that book to or for when you were writing that book?
All the little 15-year-old me's, the 15-year-old me's that are now 40 years old who think that 15-year-old girl is still making all the decisions and that a prince is going to come and we're not being honest with ourselves in our journey and we're signing off on a bunch of BS and we're caring about other people's feelings and we're just not being honest. We're not being honest about what it takes to succeed. So, ultimately it was me just saying, listen, like no one is coming to save you. So it's time to grow into the person that you're going to be. And this, it was a great foundation for everything I speak to because your potential matters. So I'm writing to everybody who fell asleep on their potential because they were believing in the BS of a Disney prince. When really, I mean, even if you look at these cartoons, if I go watch Cinderella with my kids again, it's easy. My kids can think that the prince is the hero. You know how scared Cinderella had to be to go into a ball by herself with a stepmother that hated her? Like she showed up anyway. Or, speaking up for herself and she still saved herself. But these little kids get brain warped into thinking like we give the prince the credit. It's not the prince, honey. Like you're the hero of your story. No one is ever going to come and save you. And it was that like I'm in the middle of, fighting for my life financially. Like I've never left a baby ever. I've never left a baby and gone back to work. Like I've been a stay-at-home mom and I couldn't imagine leaving this baby. So I'm like, this has to work for me. And I would see people and I'd watch them like just be handed things. And I'm like, how is this working? And I would get so caught up in that comparison that I thought like someone's got to give it to me. Someone's going to give me my big break. Someone's going to give me my big whatever. And thank God for he protected me from all of that BS because there is no greater message in my whole life than that of no one is coming to save you. That's how I survived out there as a 15-year-old, starting my life as an adult at that point. That's how I've survived, having never had the guidance, never had. You guys know I didn't even know about real investments till about 6 months ago. Like no one ever just sat down and said, Branden, you should start a Roth IRA. Like like little things in life that so many people take for granted. There's people out there that have never been taught this. And I'm raising a family and I'm doing it all backwards because I had to learn the hard way. No one's coming to save you. So I'm speaking to those people that have this incredible potential that you feel like you've had to fight the hard battle forever and you feel like you've always had to be the strong one and that when is it going to be your big break? When is it going to be your big break? Well, the minute you decide to create it. I create my own big breaks. My biggest letdown, and this is another thing that I feel like authors don't talk about enough, is like women, I guess like once you have a baby, there's this emotional letdown. And it's a very weird feeling after you give birth. Like your hormones are growing crazy. It's just a very weird feeling. Like you feel super, super alone and you feel really, really sad, but you're also you're happy you have this baby, but like it's a weird, empty feeling. I felt like that after I published my book because I thought there was going to be this big, grand, even writing Once Upon a Time, bitches, knowing I had to be my own hero. I was thinking there would be grand fireworks and my whole life would change overnight. I published that book and I was the most depressed I'd ever been. Like the lowest point of my life was that moment because everywhere I went, there I was. And I was talking about the healing. I was talking about saving yourself. And then again, I made a choice to publish a book thinking my life would change instantaneously
Hmm.
because that's a fairy tale lie I told myself my whole life. I
Yeah.
watched it happen, you know? That it was the hardest part of my life. It was a letdown. It was a huge, just emotional letdown. And coming out of that, because that's what makes people resilient, coming out of that and continuing to keep going, continuing to tell another story when you have this incredible imposter syndrome. How can I write this whole book and I feel the worst about myself than I've ever felt in my life? How is that possible?
Do you feel like you got your big break at this point with 5 books published, or you feel like you're still waiting for it?
Oh no. Like I create the big break in my head now. There is nothing that's going to be like a big break to me anymore. Like maybe what other people see might change, like other people's perspective, but what I really am doing is just focusing on stepping into my potential every day. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'm still going to be the same person. My life is not going to change. I win the lottery tomorrow and I've learned like nothing big's going to change because I'm still the same person, right? Like when you get so strong in who you are, everything else is just kind of noise. So, do I talk about the books because I think this is a very important tool that a lot of people should have? Absolutely. I think I put in 7 maxims there to help you be your own hero. They're super simple. And it's things that we just take for granted every single day. That if we just made a little shifts, about this one thing. And I mean, if it wasn't for these books, I've let it take me from one opportunity to the next. What was the next big step for me? My dream came true. I wrote books. What do I need in my life right now to reach a bigger audience? Because that was one of the things with publishers. Like if you don't have a platform, you don't sell a story. You don't have a
Right.
platform, I would hire business coaches and they would be like, Branden, you have to just become like number one in a network marketing company. You have to do this and that. And I'm like, yeah, that's not me. That's not going to be what happens. So what was the
Right.
next right thing? It led me to the Listen Bitch podcast,
Right.
where I have an incredible base. I have incredible supporters. I it's a tough road, but it is worth it. And if you're willing to just keep pushing for your potential and to stop betting on excuses and stop waiting for someone to save you and understand that it's never luck. You're so lucky you have books. You're so lucky you have a podcast. I'm like, girl, you want to know what I did to get here? Like, you want to know
Right.
that story? It's never going to be luck. We look at these people and think, wow, he has a nice house. He's so lucky. There's a price.
Right.
There's a price for everything. You create your luck, you create your opportunity. Every yes for me opens a new door. Every time I do something that scares me opens another opportunity and connects me to the people that I'm meant to be working with. It is just about being willing every single day step into your potential.
Nice.
Nothing big happens overnight after you get published. It's hard work.
It's I mean you've got the books, you've got the podcast now,
Yeah.
okay, which you're almost at 500 episodes, right?
Yes.
I mean you've been doing that long and hard and putting your heart and soul into that for quite a while
Yes.
too.
Yep.
Right. So you got that. You've got the social media thing covered. You're getting somewhere in the hundreds of thousands of views every 28 days, if I have that right.
Oh yeah, I never drop between 500,000 every 28 days and it
Right.
fluctuates. Like I'll every 3 months I hit a million and then it goes back down to about 500,000 and then it staggers back. I get shadow banned a lot. I know that. I'm I'm a little abrasive and I have some groups that go against a lot and I get reported a lot and it's I'm uphill on social media and if I can go uphill and still have the audience I have, no one has an excuse.
Right.
Like
So you have 3 of the 4 pillars of, putting together this home-based business. The information technology that we have today. It's like it's books, it's podcast, it's social media,
mhm,
and it's speaking. And I'm a
right.
little surprised that I haven't seen you out there speaking on a stage at this point.
Well, I did quite a bit before COVID.
Before COVID.
And
Okay,
yeah, so my
that's right.
youngest is my youngest is 7, and this is what really got me off the circuit. When she was little, I took her with me. She went everywhere with me. I have pictures of
Ah,
me on stages with her in a baby backpack several times. Or one of my girls would fly with me and they'd hang out with the baby. And at that point, when everything cleared out and I could speak again, she was too old to be in a backpack and I wasn't going to leave her. Like she's at
mm,
the age where I'm not leaving to do this. So
that's tough.
um
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not against public speaking ever, but at this point in time with my family, it's not on the books for me.
sure, sure. But you still have young kids at home. I mean, you have a
I
lot of
have
kids.
babies.
Yeah,
I have a
but
lot of kids.
you have
I,
youngsters.
yeah. And my family is busy. Like there's just so much going on. And the minute I think it's going to calm down, like another something. It's another something. So it's that my number one joy in life. And I think God's sole purpose for me was to be the mom I never had. And I talk about that in Once Upon a Time Bitches about, I'm 12 years old and I'm standing in front of the judge with my mom, and she signs her rights off and says, I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Take her. I don't want her. She's the state's problem now. To my face. To my face. I'm
True.
going to juvie because my mom doesn't want me. It's I just lost my train of thought there.
It's
I was
okay.
like, don't cry, B. Don't cry. Don't
Right.
cry.
Mom
No.
sending you to juvie is enough to derail you for a minute. So we're gonna give you plenty
Yeah.
of grace on that one.
I appreciate
Yeah, it's
that.
all good. It's all
The
good.
the being the mom I never had, I guess that's honestly like being a mom is kind of my era now. So how can I still promote and step into the potential of who I am outside of a mom, right? Because
Right.
our kids are going to grow up and get married. Rory knows all about this. 3 kids, they're all married. Like that's going to happen to me. There's going to be a point where there's an empty nest, and who am I after that? So this right here for me, everything I'm doing, and this is what I encourage you, especially if you have little kids or you care about getting your books out, set yourself this foundation. Like I have a great foundation for when being a mom isn't number one. It doesn't define me. My kids have their own lives. Like, what am I going to fall back on? Because that's always been my thing. And I'm going to have this incredible foundation to be like, oh, yeah, I can remember who I was outside of being a mom. So right now the priority is to be that mom, and my voice is building. I mean, I feel like I found it recently. And if you guys listen to Listen Bitch from the beginning to now, you're gonna be like, wow, it's like listening to 20 different people because I'm a different person in like every season I do. I feel like that it comes through. At the core, always the same. Let's go for potential. But then my voice, just something has happened. Something has happened. And I feel like if this is me now, who am I going to be 3 years from now? People can't not listen to me. So it's everything is a foundation. You're playing the long game in this industry.
Right. Did your mom ever get to read the book?
I don't know if she's read it. I don't know.
Hmm.
And I don't know how she'd feel about it. She's on my social media, and I say things all the time. Like I say how hard it is. Like I wish I could just call my mom. I'm a mom and I don't have anybody to talk to about that. And that gets hard. But she's seen those kind of things. I don't know if she's read the book, but
Hmm.
it's there. It's there. And there's a lot. I spill a lot of tea in there, and I talk about like how important it is to be what you've never had. And that's part of the story too. If you want a good friend, be a good friend. If you want a good business partner, be a good business partner. If you want a good spouse, be a good spouse. Like we become what we never had, and that's kind of part of the guiding path that I think God has set us on. Is like, well, you know what it's like to not have this, so you're going to be really good at giving it to other people, you know and ultimately it's everything's been a gift. Like there's nothing in my life where I'm like, oh, I wish that didn't happen. Like I've let God turn everything into a testimony. And if you're sitting on a book that is going to change people's lives because you're scared, like Once Upon a Time Bitches, I literally, that's me stripped down. Like I showed myself and I was very stressed. I'm like, man, people are going to read this. Oh my gosh, people are going to read this. What if people read this? You know?
Right.
Uh so yeah, you're really putting yourself out there, but I feel like it's worth it.
Nice. Nice. The entire process here, it all started way back when you said, I always wanted to write a book.
Yeah.
Um, I remember having thoughts like that about, certain things. Now, I wish I could say I always wanted to have a podcast, but they didn't have those back then, but
No.
books we had, right?
Yeah.
And you've said to me many times in the past that I always wanted to write a book. And so
Yeah.
I've heard that. I haven't heard from you in all the time I've known you, where that came from and why you always wanted to write a book. Why was that such a driving force for you? It's not like, hey, so what made you want to write a book? That's not it. This was
Yeah.
a driving force for you
Hmm.
that you wanted to accomplish this. Was it being an author? Was it accomplishing writing? What was the piece that just got inside of you so deeply and so hard that you hung on for 15 years to make sure that it happened?
Right. Well, um, my home life was not great. Okay, we'll just
Right.
say that.
You and I have
I
that in
read.
common. I got you.
I
Right.
read books. I read books all day long. I read books all the time that it annoyed my mom. Like I remember one time I'm reading in the dining room, she just takes the book and she chucks it because
Oh,
I'm reading another book. And so I lost myself in books. My whole life I went to juvie, I did books. I also in school I wrote a lot. I mean, in the third grade, I remember I won a poetry contest. In the fourth grade, I remember being in therapy because that's when I first started writing like the suicide poems. Fifth grade, same thing. I won another contest. And then sixth grade after that, it all went downhill because I started speaking back, defending myself in a home situation, and it just ended up being a big mess. So I lost myself in writing. Even in juvie, we had to go to school and I continued to write. And every English teacher I've ever had, they were like, you have to be a writer. And I'm like, cool, because I love reading books. Like, what if I could bring people through this journey? You know, I loved that. They were the greatest escape for me. They still are. I still will turn everything off and just read a book series in 3 days. You know, they are still the greatest escape for me. And I think it's incredibly powerful what words can do for people. And I always wanted to bring that sense of escape and that sense of like bringing people into the story. And you guys, I've been writing, like it doesn't matter. I just have been writing forever, and everybody's planted these seeds like you should be a writer, you know? And then I see Nicholas Sparks gets $1 million for a new book contract. And I just had my second baby. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire because I'm going to write a book and it's going to be great because everybody's going to buy it. And so, yeah, I did get lost in that illusion of money was going to save my family. Being a writer was going to be easy. It would be $1 million. People are going to love this. Everybody loves my writing, even in college. Even in college, like we had to write an intro paper on the first day of class, like just a quick 1 page of just saying who we were, what we want to do. And I remember that he's reading the papers and like he puts everything down. He just looks up at me and makes eye contact up in the seats, and I'm just like, okay. And after class, he's like, "You're gonna be a writer," you know. So, I mean, it's a calling. It's definitely a calling. I've not messed with the fiction for a very long time, so I think I do feel like at this moment, I'm not taking it off the table, but at this moment, God put nonfiction on my heart, and that's actually what has the traction. So that's where I'm at. Do I hope that he opens the opportunity for me to write some crazy fiction? Yes, because my imagination, if you guys think I'm a lot in reality, like my imagination is crazy. So yes, do I hope like when my kids are gone and everything's chill and I'm just a little lady sitting on the porch, I hope he's like, you know what, go ahead. We're gonna let you publish this book and go crazy. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. You want to give us any kind of hint as to what's next? You mentioned, that you had another book on your heart.
Oh, I'll tell you guys what this is. I've just had this really incredibly defining last year and a half with God, and I've realized, it's I don't think it's not going to be a shock to anybody when I say like I have this toxic hyper independent streak in me because I feel like my whole life I've been doing it myself. Since I was 12 years old, I've been on my own.
Right.
I've never, no one's ever had my back. No, it's just been me. I've screamed that till I was blue in the face, and I started reading the Bible, and I'm like, okay, you guys, it's not me. I didn't do any of this. Like every single time I thought I was alone, or I thought he hated me, or I hated him because, like, why would you put me in this situation? Like, why is this happening to me? Once you stop becoming the victim of a lot of your choices, maybe at 12, I didn't have a choice, but after 18, I had choices. I wasn't the victim of those. I was choosing your surroundings, your everyday choices, where you work, who you hang out with, like you're choosing, right?
Right.
Um, it was just that reality. And so my relationship has really shifted with him, and it's very deeply personal to me. And I wonder how many people out there think that you have to be this cookie cutter Christian for God to be able to work through you or to work on you or to work in you. I'm never going to look like someone who shows up at church on Sundays. I'm never going to be that soft spoken, meek, bless you, little child. Like it's just not in me. My feelings are so big. And like every prayer I pray, is, dear God, I fucked up. Like he knows me. I didn't mess up. Messing up is like, oh, I turned the oven on 350 instead of 250. I don't mess up. Like as big as I love and as many great things as I do, when I mess up, it's huge. And how else do you say that? So yeah, a lot of my conversation with him is, dear God, I fucked up. And I think there's so many people out there that don't know how much Jesus loves them. So many people that just hit that barrier when it comes to acceptance. And I've seen the looks that I get from people. There's a huge judgment against me. It's not welcome for me to walk into a church and declare that I'm a Christian. For one, I'm covered in tattoos, you know. There's there's a lot. And I just want someone out there that no matter what choices you've made, like God wrote that Bible for me and he wrote that Bible for you. And it's huge. And I think this book, just taking people through that experience of like, I am messy and my feelings are big. And that's why I need Jesus the most. I need him the most. Like every day, you guys. I could not even be here today. Today's been the last 24 hours have just been crazy for me. And if it wasn't for that grace and if it wasn't for Jesus holding me up right now, I wouldn't even be sitting here. Like, because life is lifing. And I think that next book is going to be huge to me. And I want to share this Bible schedule. I have an incredible schedule that I have every single day just to read bits of the Bible. My second year reading it, and I wouldn't want to read the Bible any other way. I think people need to see that. I think they need to see the real truth of a messy relationship with Christ, like a real human relationship, not the fake Instagram, I'm a Christian, like the real core.
Yeah.
We have to tell the truth. We have to tell the truth.
Nice. You know, that's a great title for the book too.
Yeah,
Dear God, I effed up.
that's exactly what it is. That that is it.
There you go.
That's the book. It is on its way.
Nice.
I
Nice.
have a few projects on the burner between that, but it's coming.
I was going
So
to say, I mean, in addition to doing 500 episodes on the podcast and, you know, everything else
yes.
that you're working on, now I know that the podcast wasn't around when you first got published.
Correct.
Okay. So, since you got published and since you started the podcast, how has the podcast helped with the book? I mean, how have those things worked together in cohesion, in your overall business foundation?
I would say, um, I think that is a base that's still building. I think it's still building. I'm still building my platform. I'm still working on that balance of like promoting the books. I think I don't talk about them enough. And that is on me. So I get caught up in that current moment or that current episode, and I just have dropped the ball in a lot of promoting that. So I think if I was really consistent in this is the tool you need, um, and even I catch myself, I just think, well, everybody on my page has probably already read the book. Like a lot of people, that's why I've been on the best-selling list 3 times.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and we kind of take for granted. I've got new people following me every single day. So we have an opportunity to speak to one new person about the things. So I'm going to say, you guys, I wouldn't say there's been a great influx of book sales or listens because of the book. And that's my fault. So it's a growth move. Let's talk about this in 3 years. You know what I mean?
All right. We'll
Like,
have you back on. Don't worry.
yeah, for sure. Maybe not even 3 years. Like, give me a year because I'm back to promoting them and not taking for granted the fact that these books are awesome. Like I live it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we live stuff, we kind of forget to stop and tell people, you know?
I like that. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you completely. Um, I love the podcast. I love the books. Love what you're doing with all of it. You've got a coaching program in the middle of this too.
Yeah.
Want to let everybody know about that just a little bit? They might be listening to this going, man, I have got to talk to this lady about how to get my stuff done. Tell them a little bit about your coaching program, what you offer, and
Yeah,
that kind of thing, and then I'll hit you with my final question.
for sure. You guys, this is another great thing too. I need you to go binge my episodes because I just did a confession. I had a Dream Big Bitches coaching business, pretty lucrative, but I didn't base that foundation on Christ. And that's a whole other episode by itself. But listen to that episode and you're going to see why this comeback is so important to me. And what I'm actually doing right now, I've got 10-minute schedules on my calendar link. I'll send it to Rory so you guys can find it in the show notes. Just book a 10-minute discussion with me because I'm actually looking for 3 more women right now that I will coach you through this process for free. for free because I'm rebuilding. I'm rebranding the business and I'm starting from square one, and this is an exchange for huge feedback. Okay. So that means like don't let's not waste each other's time. Like if you're gonna come to me and you're just kind of wishy-washy, like I want to do this. No, I we're gonna do the work. Like you're gonna do the work and you're gonna be willing to be held accountable for doing the work. So yeah, it outside of that, like book the 10-minute call with me and we'll see what I can do to help you because you guys, I've done it all. It's true.
You know,
I've done it all.
I said it earlier today, but I just absolutely love how on fire you are with
Yeah.
everything that you're doing. And I just want to say that in a podcast so it gets recorded because
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of you and everything you're doing right now and your comeback
Thank
and
you.
everything you're working on. It just is, it's amazing. It's making me tear up a little bit right now, you know, and I'm
Ah,
trying to be the big tough guy right now. It's really not working
right.
out.
Right.
So, the other thing I will say is that, you know, you're saying you've got these three spots you're looking for. We have over 50 people already that have signed up for this. And so there's going to be a time where we're going to be several weeks out on publishing. Today is not the day.
Yeah.
You are the first episode. So we're doing this today and you're
Yay.
being published first thing tomorrow morning. So folks, those are real live openings. If you hear
Yeah.
this, act on it because those are the only openings you got. So,
Yeah.
and I will absolutely have the stuff in the show notes. Make sure you send it to me. So,
Yeah, I will.
best way to reach out to you too before I close out with you. Besides, we'll have that stuff in the show notes. You know, the link and everything else. You want to send them to social media? You want to send them to the website? What's the best way to reach Branden if I'm a writer and I want to talk to you one on one?
BrandenLaNette.com, sign up and just reply to the email that's going to say, "Hey, I'm glad you're here. It's about time you signed up." Uh and just say 10-minute call or whatever that is, coaching. Just one word. That's going to be the fastest way because you guys, I get lost on Messenger and I tell people message me on Messenger, but the truth is like I've got a lot going out and I've got a lot coming in and I'll go 24 hours before I even open it because I'm so overwhelmed. So I would say right now on my website, Branden LaNette, definitely follow me on my socials though, because I feel like you're going to be greatly entertained and you're going to get a lot of information that's important in your life. Listen Bitch podcast is on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, uh, books, Amazon. I do have the two on Audible. And like I said, you will feel my passion in that book when you hear me read it to you. And I feel like just reading it along with me is just cool. So you can highlight stuff, you can, whatever that looks like. But I say get both, you know?
Nice. Nice. Okay. All right. I like it. Well, now I also know why you are ignoring me on Messenger all the time when I try to reach you. But
Sorry.
I get it. It's okay.
I try to watch for people's names, you guys, and I just get over it. It's so
I just had to
overwhelming.
interview for a podcast so I could figure out what's going on. All right, I understand.
Oh
All right,
man.
Branden, last question because I know that this is going to be a good one, and I know people want to hear this. You are at this point. You've written 5 books. You've been published.
Yeah.
You're an accomplished author by any measurement. So, what is your best piece of advice to other authors, either current or aspiring authors, who are not quite where you are yet?
Keep going. And your next step is the one that scares you the most.
Keep going. And your next step is the one that scares you the most. Nice.
That's it.
There you
Whatever you're
go.
afraid of is the thing you're supposed to do.
Beautiful. All right. And you saved me a couple of minutes in the podcast too, because I knew you would just come right out with a bam and knock it down.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, I think we're probably close to the time. So I have to make it
beautiful.
short, but it is perfect, you guys. Just
That's
do the
awesome.
next scary thing. That's the right thing.
All right. Author of Once Upon a Time Bitches and all the other books that we talked about today.
Yeah.
Host of the Listen Bitch podcast, Branden LaNette. Branden, thank you again for coming on here, being our first interview of this new podcast.
Ah,
And it means a lot. I appreciate you being here and
it's
I
always an
appreciate
honor.
you.
Thanks for
Yeah,
thinking of me and same.
you got it. Folks, this has been our premiere episode of the Right Path podcast, where the truth still counts and the keyboard calls us home. This is the place where authors know that every page is a step forward. So let's lift each other up, let's dust ourselves off, and let's move forward together.